Hello. On the last episode, we spoke to Skylar Corrigan after we burned most of our skin, fought some bandits, and then apparently took a bath together. Simple, synopsis of what happened. Not really any more detail needed to be going on that, really. That's all that her route really was. We still got the second half of Volume 3 to go through. Volume 3 of Ladies Grey and Lucille White. Putting one step in front of the other, you continue through the strange alien world. Just when you think stuff is beginning to make sense, it all slips through your fingers and becomes even stranger and more alien. There does, however, seem to be one thing that remains constant through all planets and walks in life. That thing is friendship. You're on the prowl for more. It would have perhaps been wise to stay with the other one of your wonderful new friends until you're fully healed. But as Martha Stewart once said, visitors are like fish, begin to smell after 3 days. You're almost positive Martha Stewart said that. Nevertheless, you soldier on in your endless quest for companionship. Where will your travels take you next? To Bronya Ursama. You've been traveling through a cave network for a while now. The rigid stone is a welcome respite from the eerily organic infrastructure you've been encountering. But it's also proving to an unwelcome respite for friend making. Maybe it was too much to hope for that this cavern would be home for another potential new buddy. Maybe leaving the big city was a horrible mistake. Maybe these dark, cool tunnels are completely devoid of. Oh, hang on. There's a bunch of buildings in the distance. Oh, hello. I thought you were one of my girls, but you don't look like a Jadebud. Or anything else, actually. How strange. Your usual spiel regarding your circumstances. You convey your usual spiel regarding your circumstances. You're lost and lonely, and your ribs are still broken, you think. Honestly, the ribs are fine. You can use another friend or two. I see. My first responsibility is to my jades and to the mother grub, so I can't make any promises of friendship just yet. But you look like you look like you need someone to take care of you. Here in the Brooding Caverns, we follow a few simple rules. 1. Don't invite drama up top, down below. Protect the mother grub. 2. 3. We have no hierarchy, but do what I say. I don't think I like number 3 very much. It kind of contradicts itself. Let's do everything we can to keep our current record of dozens of sweeps without any jades being called. You're not sure what half of those words mean, but you nod your head. Good. I'll take you to a hive. Follow me. You follow her into her hive, which looks like a school or some kind of dormitory, with multiple rooms and multiple floors. Usually, more of my jades are around, but I suppose that everyone is watching the Imperial drones arrive with the filial pails. Girls, we have a visitor in the caverns. 1. Do not be alarmed by their bizarre appearance. They seem to be harmless and quite weak. 2. Do not give them more injuries than they already have. Our visitor deserves a warm jade blood welcome. She claps her hands. No one else is around. But you stand to attention and give her a thumbs up to show that you read her loud and clear. You notice that she called you a visitor and not friend. Well, that's okay. You can do whatever it takes to upgrade from visitor to friend. Or at least a charity case. You follow her upstairs and she stops at a big room on the second floor. When you step into it, you have a clap. You have to clap your hands over your mouth to keep from gagging at the revolting sight. There are these big, baby-sized larvae-looking things all over the floor, squirming around and crying and inchworming out of a kiddie pool of green slime. What the hell? This is our nursery. Most of these regulars are sick or injured, so we look after them here and until they're well enough to go back to the caverns and spin their cocoons. She looks shifty all of a sudden, giving you some side eye, like she's sizing you up. You try to look as very non-threatening, also 100% trustworthy. We keep this nursery on the down low. It's not against any laws, but it's something of a break with tradition to save any of the grubs instead of just letting them die. To tell you the truth, I'm not sure why we do it. I guess it just feels right to me to take care of them, the same way I take care of my jades. A nursery, huh? You look around again with this new information. You guess you can sort of see how the regulars look like babies. We just insulted a room full of babies. Hooray. You can't believe that one of these things could grow up into anything that looked like Bronya. But this is an alien planet, so who knows? She takes you over to this to a shelf that seems to hold medical supplies. You're not sure what can be done with your broken ribs, but maybe she has some kind of alien technology that can help. But when she starts going through the cabinet, you don't see anything that looks high tech like the thing that fixed your arm. I guess for most of what we have is stuff for the Wrigglers. I'm not familiar enough with your bizarre autonomy to know if it'll help. But if you're not completely sure how to do something, it's best to try anyway. 1. Even if you fail, everyone else can still learn from your mistake. 2. Maybe you won't fail. You never know. You're not sure about applying this ethos to your broken ribs, but she looks so determined, it might be rude to say no. Okay, first choice. I'm gonna go and let her do it. I feel like it's gonna cause a bad chain reaction because it's gonna hurt. So yeah. Oh, okay, come here. Lift your shirt so I can start. To get your injuries, your injured bell sack enclosed. Yes, like that. Turn the part that's all bloody and horrified towards me. Cool. She has something to look at. She has something that looks kind of like ointment. I don't know why I said ornament. It's a shade of bright green, similar to the slime beds you see around the nursery. It also seems like glowing. Seems like there's nothing wrong with applying it to your skin. Despite your optimism, the second Bronya rubs some of it on your broken skin. It feels you feel sneering hot pain, like you just got doused with poison. You flinch back instinctively. Your momentum carries you too far, and you step back and trip on something behind your feet. You cartwheel your arms, but it's no use. You're going down. You're yelling timber. You feel something soft and squishy break your fall. You hear a terrible squelching noise, and some kind of animal squeal. You've fallen right into one of those wrigglers. You roll off it, but there's no use. It's squished flat. You've covered in olive fluid, and you think it might be its blood. You look to see Bronya's horrified face, and no, there's no hope for friendship with those vengeful eyes. Oh, Ken, we've just killed a child. You might want to run before I throw you out of this window and break the rest of your bones. We have Alternian's deadliest behind. Alternia, sorry. Yeah. We've just killed a child. Okay. So as we thought, of course we wouldn't be able to manage someone touching our ribs. Thanks, pal. I'll heal on my own. Oh well, if you're sure. I'm worried about you though. You seem like you need help, and I wish I could help you more. I mean, with your help, we kill a child. You don't want that. If I can't take of someone, I'm not sure how we can ever truly be friends. You try to cheer her up, pointing out that friendship is a two-way street, after all. She doesn't have to concern herself with your mutilated frame. How can you help her instead? Sure. Well, sure. There are things around here I could use some assistance with. However, don't take it the wrong way, but we've only just met. I don't know that I can trust you to be as responsible as I am. Yeah, you probably shouldn't. I don't feel like we're responsible. It's not easy to be the one in charge. Yeah, you have to be one. Conscientious. 2, considerate. 3, contempt, and at all times. You really like your lists. You try and think of times in your life when you've been conscientious, considerate, or contempt. Well, we've always been considerate. I think we've got number 2 down. You're drawing a bit of a blank, but hey, new planet, new you. You assure her that you have what it takes. I guess if you want to prove you can be responsible, I can let you help me out today. It's a good time to visit the mother grub. You're careful to step around all the little guys on the floor as you head out to the nursery. Nice. Step 1 done. She takes you back outside. These caverns are even bigger than when you first realized. They're also dark and cold and gloomy. You can't see anywhere that might lead to the planet's surface. Does she really live down here all the time? To make some conversation during the cold hike in a damn cave, you mentioned that living underground seems kind of depressing. You realize too late that this wasn't very tactful, but she doesn't get angry at your conversational gambit of insulting her home. Oh no, it's very peaceful down here. Well, in comparison to anywhere else, I quite enjoy it. Brooding Caverns is a place of life and birth, not death. It's pretty uncommon on Alternia. You're still not sure what she means by brooding caverns, but you guess it's something to do with the wrigglers in her nursery. Before you ask, you reach the top of the ridge and get a new, wider view of the rest of the cavern. It's enormous, probably the size of a small city. All over the cave floor, you see more wrigglers crawling everywhere. Cocoons line the cave walls, and the large stalactites with some young trolls crawling out of them. Stalactites are the top ones, I believe, right? And stalagmites are the bottom ones. Walking, flying, crawling among the wrigglers, and young trolls of a variety of white monsters. They're quite all kinds of shapes and sizes. In the center of the caverns, you don't even know how to describe it. It looks like a huge, many-legged queen bug of some kind, with a goat-shaped skull and horns coming out of the head. Her bulbous sphincter ripples as she lays a continuous stream of hundreds of eggs, which you assume the grey wrigglers will hatch. And marching through all this, you see several hulking bipedal creatures, each carrying 2 buckets in either to or away from the mother grub. They look armed and they move like regimented troops, soldiers of some kind. You're instinctively terrified of them. That's because they are the drones, I believe, right? This is where the magic happens, and by that I mean the continuation of our species. Jade-bloods like myself are entrusted with looking after the process, which is, of course, a very special job. 1. Imperial drones Imperial drones carry filial pails of genetic material to the mother grub for her slurry. 2. She lays eggs and hatch new grubs in broods. 3. After the wrigglers emerge from their cocoons, the new trolls will go through trials, and the ones that make it will be selected by Lucis to help care for them. 4. Together, the young trolls and their Luci will go up to the surface together, where the trolls will grow up and get cold or whatever. As Bronya explains troll reproduction to you, one of the Imperial drones veers sharply to the left in the process, tramples over a few regulars and young trolls. The drone continues on, but several of the Lucii cry out, crowding around their dead or injured charges. One of them, a gigantic beast that resembles a bison, bellows and rears up on its hind legs, hitting one of the other Lucii with its front hoof. Oh geez, not again. This kind of damage control is a lot of what we have to deal with. Whenever a Lucii goes rogue out of grief or confusion, there's a lot of potential for it to lash out at other Lucii, the Wrigglers, or the Mother Grub itself. We Jadebloods cannot let that happen. She looks so concerned, a marked contrast to how confident she seemed before. You offered to help her out earlier, but it seems like now's your chance. Someone has to stop that rogue Lucii, and that someone could be you. Be a weenie. No, I think this is where we step. Fight the monster, save the day. We have broken ribs. We're not going to succeed. This one being the weenie is clearly the right choice. The Bison Lucis seems to be causing quite the ruckus. Other Lucii have gotten riled up too, with some of them trying to gather Wrigglers to keep them out of the harm's way, and the others just getting hyped to thrash. It seems like it could turn into a monster stampede, and they're close to the Mother Grub's big, soft, vulnerable abdomen. Not great. Fighting a monster single-handedly seems like a daunting first step in friendship, but you did tell her you'd be responsible. You square your shoulders and tell Bronya that she has nothing to worry about. You're going to stop the Lucis, calm down all the other Lucii, and protect the Mother Grub, all without breaking a sweat and hopefully without breaking any more bones either. Whoa there. I was going to suggest that I go after it while you stay here. You seem kind of weak and fragile, even apart from your injuries, I mean. I don't want you to get hurt worse, and I'm not sure I trust anyone other than myself to take the lead on this. That wasn't quite the reaction you were hoping for. Normally, you'd be all about sitting back and letting her protect you, but well, protective and responsible is a good look on her. But despite that, but desperate times calls for desperate measures, and you don't know how else you're going to prove yourself worthy of a friend. You do your best to protect the air of confidence, or at least competence. You assure her that this is no sweat for you. You take down raging bison back in your home planet all the time. You're known for it, actually. Well, if you say that this isn't your first time, undulate roping gallop exhibition. I'm just gonna assume this isn't your first time in the rodeo. I'll hang back and let you give it a shot. But if it gets too overwhelming in there, I'm right here. 1. Caring for the Mother Grub is my responsibility as a J-Blood. 2. I'd never abandon a friend to deal with a mess on their own. If we end up being friends, that is. Oh hell yes. Now you've got a reason to hope. You approach the rampaging bison with caution. Do all bisons have horns like this? Maybe they do. You're no bison expert, but you're pretty sure that they don't all have teeth that nasty. Bison on Earth mostly eat grass, don't they? This guy doesn't look like a herbivore. At first you try and calm the Lucis down by talking to it, but your soothing words have no effect. In fact, you might have just made it even angrier by suggesting that it pause and take some deep breath in a reaction to its treble charge. You're not even sure you can understand human speech. Come to think of it, you circle around it, wishing that you had some kind of lasso or something. Maybe you can herd it away from the Mother Grub. You look around to see if there's any other Lucii that look vaguely vaguely like an Earth-shaped dog, but no dice. You hesitate too long and the Lucis turns away, its furious eyes falling on the Mother Grub. It stampedes. It stamps its hooves, snorting at the air out of its nostrils, and screams in a way that sounds a lot like more hellish than you'd imagine a normal bison capable of. It's obvious it is about to charge. You can only think of one thing to do. In desperation, you leap forward and tackle it, football style, doing everything you can to with your flimsy human body to drag it to the side. It half works. You plow into the Lucii and stop it in its tracks, but it topples over onto a nest of wrigglers, taking you down with it. Wrigglers and young trolls bounce everywhere, squealing in distress, and the Lucii descend upon you in rage. Everything is in chaos, and for a while you're trapped beneath the bison Lucii, which is very worrying for you. For all your body parts, you think you might feel something important rupture inside you. But hey, on the bright side, this crushing mass is protecting you from all the other annoyed Lucii trying to attack you. Just as your whole breathing situation is starting to get dicey, you can hear commotion that sounds possibly like the crouching of some of the small Lucii they're trying to get to you. The crowd of beasts around you scatter, and then you hear her. Oof, I'm having a hard time getting this thing off of you. It's still very angry. He keeps trying to kick me. Where's a bronze blood when you need one? You don't know what that means, but you're very grateful that she's here to help you. You try to communicate this, but it comes out garbled from all the blood in your mouth. Maybe don't try and speak, or move, or help. You experience a sinking feeling that that could relate to your diminishing odds of impressing Bronya and becoming a friend. Or it could be the compression of your internal organs. Either way, it's tough to feel optimistic right now. But before you can give up a complete despair, you hear other voices. Your view is blocked by a mass of the bison flesh on top of you. Could it be... Are these other people here to... Are there other people here to save you? Finally, I was wondering where you'd all gotten off to. Let's all work together, girls. You two grab his horns and keep the head still and keep it from biting anyone. The rest of you come around with me to the backside so we can push it off without getting kicked. You hear some grunting and muttering, and the bison starts making some noise that sounds more confused and less furious. The pressure and the pain of your chest briefly spike in intensity as the thing's weight shifts. And then they must succeed in dragging it off of you because suddenly you can breathe again. But the crisis is not over yet. While you're still testing the use of your lungs and blinking at the cabin ceiling, you hear a new cacophony of enraged monster noises. Uh-oh, the other Lucii are still agitated. Get down and try and calm them down. Protect the mother grub. You try and lift yourself up to see what's going on, but putting any weight on your arm makes you feel like maybe your brain got turned into a confetti. Painful confetti. You feel a strong hand propping you up gently, and your now your head is on Bronya's lap. Try and focus more on how this is a nice place for your head to be, and less on the pain. This is not good. I don't know if my jades can reach the stampede in time for the mother grub. Could get injured. Not to mention all the wrigglers are in danger. Oh no. You didn't think the situation could get any worse, but you see that several of the Imperial drones that had been about to leave the cavern turned back, drawn by all the noise and chaos. Maybe this could be a good thing. Maybe they can steal some order. Crap. They're going to kill everyone. What? She scrambles to her feet in the process, letting your head whack the hip floor. Ouch. Your vision swims, and you can still make out the drones firing indiscriminately at the Lucii, at the grubs, at the wrigglers, at the jedbloods. One laser beam skims the side of the mother grub's massive midsection, and her screams are so loud that the ceiling shakes for a few stalactites shake loose, falling on the drones and Lucii wrigglers alike. It's a total catastrophe. A whole rainbow's worth of trolls, wrigglers, and lucite blood is splattering the cavern walls. Bronya seems paralyzed by the chaos, looking from her jades to the mother grove to the imperial to the imperiled wrigglers that she is not she's not sure who to help first. I can't believe it. This is the worst disaster we've ever had down here. All because I thought I could sit back and let someone else be responsible for once. If I were a less secure person, I could let this moment plant a seed of self-doubt in my mind and my ability to take care of others and do my job well. Or I could chalk it up to be you being really, really stupid. Okay. When you say it like that, I kind of don't like you a bit. Gonna be honest, Bronya. You shrink under the weight of her glare. She's green. She's green in the face from how angry she is. You swallow and manage to spit out enough blood to ask the question of that you already know is hopeless. Does this mean you can't be friends? Are you serious right now? I do not make friends with anyone who recklessly endangers the trolls and wrigglers under my care. She looks so angry. You kill them all. Oh no. Okay. So yeah, I was right. The correct answer is to be a weenie. You definitely don't like the idea of wading into a monster fight. Not even sure of the progenitor of your new friend's species. Cool. In fact, you don't like that Bronya is focused on protecting all these helpless toddlers and distressed animals instead of taking care of you. You stammer out that you don't think you can take any kind of monster right now. In fact, you just felt another stab of pain in your ribs. You might be blacking out. Bronya's concerned face turns into your direction as you start to swoon. She catches you before you hit the ground. Your heart flutters. You look up at her serious face, and she looks like she's such a mom, but also such a friend, like someone, some sort of combination of the two concepts. Yikes! You don't look so good. I do not. I can't leave you alone, not when you're in such a bad shape. Maybe I can carry you on my back while I stop the rampaging Lucis. Your heart wasn't turned to pinprickles of alarm. That sounds dangerous, mainly for you. You try to think of what you can say to dissuade her. Something other than, I think you should ignore the helpless babies and mothers in danger. Besides, behind you, in favor of continuing to hold me in your strong arms. Really? But before you can speak, you can hear a commotion behind her. She turns to look over her shoulder, and her face sags with relief. Oh, the other Jades are here. They should know what to do. We've taken care of crises like this before. Crises like this before. Of course, usually I'm there to help. If you crane your neck, you can just glimpse the crowd of trolls corralling the rogue Lucis away from the mother grub, while the other trolls calm down the remaining Lucii and swoop up any wrigglers in harm's way. It looks like I needn't worry. It looks like I needn't have worried. They're more than capable of stepping in while I'm otherwise occupied. I'm so proud. You take this opportunity to compliment her on her good what a good leader she must be to have trained the others so well. Super smooth. She beams at you and sets you down carefully on the cabin floor, kneeling by your side. This could have gone quite badly. I'm glad I didn't make the wrong choice when I stayed to help you instead of rushing off. It just goes to show sometimes the best thing you can do for the group is to take care of the weakest person on it. You kind of want to object to being called the weakest person, but you did just fake a fainting spell for attention. We just did, didn't we? We're kind of not the best person. So maybe now isn't the best time. Instead, you thank her sincerely for sticking by your side. The two of you watch together as order is gradually restored to the chaos below. And even with your injuries, you feel the close content. Feel close to content and quite hopeful that this relationship is progressing. You notice that at your side, several wigglers are blindly squirming around, confused and crying. There are some young trolls there here too, looking around lost, and you're not sure if the losers ran off or the others got involved with the farce. Or the fracas, I don't know, I'm assuming fracas instead of farce. Or if the little guys are orphans now. Now that you've seen them out of their natural cabin light, the wrigglers look less like maggots to you. In fact, they're even kind of cute. You can see why Bronya would want to take care of them. One of the smallest wrigglers closest to you has somehow flipped himself over onto his back and is seemingly unable to right himself. His legs were wiggling in the air while he cries. Trying to be careful with your ribs, you reach over and scoop him up and cradle him to your chest, rocking him back and forth until his cries quieten down. Wow, you've got a really strong nurturing instinct. I think he likes you. You almost look like you could be his Lucis, or a J-Blood. You're pleased that she approves of your caretaking display. The wriggler's cough breaks through your haze of smoke satisfaction. You look down to realise that he seems to have some trouble breathing. You point this out to Bronya. Good observation. You're really natural at taking care of other creatures, aren't you? Some people find that nurturing ability to be very attractive as a potential friend. But for the wriggler, this is definitely not a good sign. I'm surprised none of these drones have noticed he's sick. If we leave him here, he'll be cold for sure. Bronya takes a wriggler from you. You're more than happy to hand him over, considering that you have no idea what to do with a sick baby that's not your species. Also, your broken ribs makes holding the baby kind of painful. And Bronya holds the wriggler carefully, but with perfect ease. Just like you hope she'll cradle your new friendship in its infancy. And we go back. Once Bronya feels assured that the Jade Bloods have the situation and the brooding cabins under control, you the Jade Blood nursery. You hover around uselessly while Bronya sets some kind of crib filled with green slime. You're a little concerned. He was already having trouble breathing. Surely drowning him in slime won't help. The soap should strengthen his bowel sac and soothe his sorrow shoot. Okay, so it should ease his stomach and calm his throat, soothe his throat. Okay. When he gets healthy again, I'll take him to the cavern to set him free to make his cocoon and pupate. But he's so small, he's unlikely that he'll survive the trials or be selected by a Lucis. You hate to see Bronya looking sad. You try to be sympathetic, mentioning your astute observation that this whole system set up with the wrigglers and the trials and the culling seems pretty brutal. What? Oh no, I would never suggest. This is the way the world works, and it's fine. It's fine. The trials are how young trolls prove that they are strong enough to survive. It's only right the weak be culled. It's the purpose of the Jade Bloods to ensure the continuation of our species and consequently the Hemo spectrum. 1. We are not revolutionaries. 2. We are meant to do our jobs and to keep our heads down and keep things running smoothly. 3. I would never presume the question of the basic tenets of the Alternate society that would bring negative attention to the high bloods, and I just want to keep my jades safe. Look around at the nursery. All these injured and undeveloped wrigglers that Bronya was apparently supposed to let die. You think You think it might not be true that she doesn't question the way her world works. She looks at you and like she's. She looks at you like she's scared you'll call her on that and expose her altruistic tendencies. You try and salvage this conversation thread. Did you say that culling reels sounded brutal? You meant natural. Yes, you feel 100% natural on this topic. Neutral on this topic. Neither committed or to the culling side of things, nor eager to take up arms in revolution. Oh yes, neutral is how I feel about it as well. What a good word to describe exactly how I feel about this all controversial political subjects. Did I mention that keeping this nursery isn't technically illegal? But it isn't. Because it isn't technically. There is no reason for any of Triz's drones to come investigating our hive. And if any drones do come knocking, we have nothing to hive. No borderline revolutionary ideas will be tolerated within these walls. Bronya laughs nervously, looking around the room, like she's making sure that any Imperial drones hiding in here heard her announcement. You feel bad for how nervous she is. You didn't mean to freak her out. You tell her that she sounds super convincing, and why shouldn't she? Because she's clearly telling the truth. But if you were an Imperial drone, you would definitely be satisfied right now with her clearly law-abiding neutral ways. Thank you. It means a lot. You cast about the same. You cast about for something to change the subject, and mention that your ribs are feeling a bit better. Bronya's face brightens, and she lifts up your arm gently to touch the injured part of your torso, examining it with her typically responsible and authoritative way. You shiver and wonder if her touch is has healing properties. I'm glad to hear that. After all, I don't like it when my friends suffer. Your heart leaps. You look up, scarcely allowing yourself to hope. Could it be, or was she just making a general statement? If you're not in any more pain, hopefully that means your injuries will be healed soon. I'll take care of you until then, my friend. You're overcome, your eyes filled with tears. Bronya smiles at you and squeezes your hand. Hooray! Self-care comes first. Yay! We have friends. We have a friend, and we take care of the nursery. With that, I'll call it there. So thank you for stopping by, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.